some cases, they've been like, whatever.
If you want to be really cool, you don't call it therapy, you call it analysis. I'm an analysis.
Yes.
If you're in the 1970s Woody Allen.
You know what I did like last year when I became single again? I gained weight and I let my hair go gray because I wanted to see who it like happened. Right.
That's a great experiment. What happened?
You didn't, well, no, yeah, well, I don't know. I can't
Everyone's a
say it's on the
fetish.
camera.
You're
I am a certain fetish
now.
now.
You're a different kind of fetish.
But I hated when I was so like working out all the time, and I didn't like the women that I attracted because I was smoking hot.
You didn't like them? Oh, that's interesting.
No, because I was like, everyone in this town wants to be gorgeous, and they feel like.
You didn't want to be a sex object.
I didn't want. Well, it's funny because I want somebody to hit on me for who I am and not what I look like. So what if I have a couple of parents?
Who you are in a bar? Or you know, when they see you, what they see is just your outside. That's the beginning.
All they see.
Right? I mean, it is, as much as we might not want to be shallow, it is the first thing that we see about a person.
And for the first couple of months, all they see is what you're exhaustingly trying to project at them, you know, because that's the first mistake lesbians make. This is a good point.
You could pretend a long time.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about red flags earlier.
Yeah.
Projecting's another one.
Yeah.
And that lesbians are, and I would agree with this, just based on my own experience, that we are adept at ignoring red flags.
We like red flags.
Bleach them.
Yes, the phrase you used was we bleach them as we see them.
Oh,
We bleach them. We don't want to see the red
It's
flags.
white. Look at it.
She's so cute when she screams at people.
Yeah.
It's how we only have what we know in order. That's what informs our understanding of the world around us. So our experiences and our thoughts and our knowledge, our body of knowledge, is how we figure out what's going on around us.
Right.
So we look at something and in a weird way it's, well, if I were in her situation, I would be thinking this or doing this. And so we're just kind of projecting from what we know of the world onto that. When we were talking about a lot of anger in the community and how a lot of people react with anger over things they don't know anything about, is that they're projecting all kinds of crazy stuff that it's based on absolutely no information other than their perceptions.
Yes.
And so whenever you have a situation like that, and very often that's what we're doing in our interpersonal relationships, especially when we're first getting to know someone. And on dates,
what do we do?
Don't you
love dating? It's like auditioning.
No.
It's like auditioning. What's the point of
Job
dating?
interview.
It is,
like
but everyone said lie.
Every single relationship I've ever had, every single stupid way.
Once again, what do you call it? The unreliable narrator?
Yes. And you're listening and you're like, oh my God, this is what you tell me and you're trying to impress me? But also, how many times have you seen your friends get into a relationship and inside your mind you're just going, wait for it?
Yeah, wait for it.
And then, boom!
You know what's bad is when everyone puts money on it. Like, I've had people predict.
Yeah, these people don't
We're
know
putting
that
side
behind the
bets.
scenes we're all
I
like,
never had people put money on it.
Yes, yeah.
With you.
No,
No, I got
you put money on my relationship.
Yeah, I gotta pay the rent, man.
Dude, can you split it with me?
well, if they're telling you every relationship that they've had, and it's always, then this girlfriend screwed me over this way, and then this one did this to her, and this, and you're just like, what I always think is,
no one should ever do
sooner
that.
or later, I'm gonna be on
Yeah.
that list. People are content to talk, and people are content to dominate the conversation.
Lie. I find a lie. I'm perfect. It was my ex that was the problem.
They want to tell you everything.
It's crazy.
Then you look them up on the internet, and they're the ones with the police restraining order.
They're not Googleable.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Then clearly they haven't.
them. But
They're not worth dating if they haven't made an imprint in society.
If Google doesn't know about him, don't date him. That's what you're not gonna lie because you want to meet someone who knows the real you, right? So lying really defeats your own purpose.
Yeah, but if you hold off 3 or 4 months not telling them all your psycho problems, like then they're hooked and they stay with you, as we all know from maybe
your
our
psycho problems are going to leak out.
We've all got court. I like to call those court issues.
Psycho
Some people call them psycho problems.
issues.
I like to call them court issues. And it's a matter of how well have you become aware of them, and how well have you become the driver of that vehicle.
Oh God, doesn't that sound scary? It seems like I'm in an 18-wheeler with my issues.
Exactly. We all have an 18-wheeler, and it's are your core issues driving that unconsciously, or are you in the driver's seat?
And if you get, haven't you ever dated people where you're like, wow, I really like them, but this is so not working, I'm miserable, and we're gonna kill each other. And then you date somebody else, and it's like your issues aren't rubbing up against each other.
Right.
They're kind of living comfortably together.
Right.
So that's always an interesting.
And when I think about that,
that's what
the word that comes to mind for me is compassion.
Mm-hmm.
It's compassion. If I can have compassion for your issues, and you can have compassion for mine, even though mine are pushing your buttons, and yours are pushing my buttons, if I can have compassion for your issues and remember that it's not your job to not push my buttons, it's your job to respect them, but it's not your job to not push them. It's my job to handle them when they get pushed.
And also understand that it's not necessarily about you. I mean, when somebody's reacting or behaving in a way that pushes your buttons, that doesn't mean they're doing it intentionally to push your buttons. It just, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, especially when you get to know your buttons.
I know, when it's like a symphony.
Yeah.
And then that's something.
I know.
In that moment,
Here's your abandonment issues. Here's your. And let's touch on your fear of commitment.
I mean, that's the thing, to just know, okay,
but in those
this has nothing to do with me.
if you're pushing someone's buttons on purpose,
That's not nice.
That's manipulative.
But the therapist says,
That's not
That's
nice.
nice.